Today's Bing AI story is The Time Traveler's Crush. Alice was bored. She had nothing to do on a rainy Saturday afternoon. She decided to explore the attic of her old house, hoping to find something interesting. She climbed up the ladder and opened the dusty wooden door. The attic was dark and full of cobwebs. Alice saw a pile of boxes in one corner. She walked over and opened one of them. Inside, she found a strange device that looked like a radio with a lot of buttons and dials. She picked it up and examined it curiously. "What is this?" she wondered aloud. Suddenly, the device beeped and flashed a green light. Alice felt a jolt of electricity run through her body. She dropped the device and screamed. The next thing she knew, she was lying on the floor of the attic, but everything looked different. The boxes were gone, replaced by shelves full of books and gadgets. The walls were covered with posters and maps. The window showed a sunny sky with flying cars zooming by. "Where am I?" Alice gasped. She heard footsteps coming from downstairs. She quickly hid behind a curtain and waited nervously. "Hello? Is anyone here?" a voice called out. Alice peeked from behind the curtain and saw a boy about her age enter the attic. He had blonde hair and blue eyes, and wore a leather jacket and jeans. "Who are you?" Alice asked timidly. The boy jumped in surprise and turned around. "Whoa! Who are you? How did you get in here?" he demanded. "I don't know. I found this device in one of the boxes and it brought me here," Alice explained, pointing at the device on the floor. The boy picked it up and looked at it with interest. "Oh, this is my dad's time machine. He's an inventor. He made this when he was young, but he never got it to work properly." "A time machine? You mean I'm in the future?" Alice asked incredulously. The boy nodded. "Yeah, you're in 2050. Alice couldn't believe what she was hearing. She had traveled 30 years into the future. "What's your name?" she asked. "I'm Jake," the boy said. "I'm Alice," she said. They smiled at each other awkwardly. "Well, nice to meet you," Jake said. "Nice to meet you too," Alice said. "But how are we going to get you back to your time?" Jake wondered. He looked at the time machine and frowned. "This thing is old and unreliable. It might not work again. And even if it does, how do we know when and where it will take you?" Alice felt a surge of panic. "Oh no! You mean I'm stuck here?" she cried. Jake tried to calm her down. "Don't worry, Alice. We'll figure something out. Maybe my dad can help. He's at work right now, but he'll be back soon." Alice hoped he was right. "Okay, Jake. But what do we do until then?" she asked. Jake smiled. "Well, why don't I show you around? You must be curious about the future. There's a lot of cool stuff to see and do here." Alice nodded. "Sure, Jake. That sounds fun." Jake took her hand and led her out of the attic. "Come on, Alice. Let's go on an adventure." They ran down the stairs and out of the house. Alice was amazed by the sights and sounds of 2050. She saw robots walking dogs, holograms playing games, and hoverboards flying in the air. She felt like she was in a sci-fi movie. She followed Jake as he showed her his favorite places: a virtual reality arcade, a candy shop with edible wrappers, and a park with a giant slide that went underground. They had a blast together and became fast friends. Alice forgot about her worries for a while and enjoyed the moment. After a few hours of fun and exploration, Jake and Alice returned to Jake's house. They were greeted by Jake's dad, who had just come home from work. He was surprised to see Alice and asked Jake who she was. Jake told him the truth, that she was a girl from the past who had accidentally traveled to the future using his time machine. Jake's dad was shocked and amazed. He examined the time machine and confirmed that it was indeed his invention. He apologized to Alice for the trouble and said he would try to fix it and send her back to her time. Alice thanked him and said she hoped he could do it soon. She missed her family and friends, and wondered what they were doing without her. She also felt a pang of sadness at the thought of leaving Jake behind. She had grown fond of him in their short time together. She wondered if he felt the same way about her. Jake's dad took the time machine to his workshop and started working on it. He told Jake and Alice to stay in the house and wait for him. He said he would call them when he was done. Jake and Alice went to Jake's room and sat on his bed. They looked at each other nervously. They didn't know what to say or do. They felt a strange mix of emotions: happiness, fear, excitement, regret. They wanted to stay together, but they also knew they had to part ways soon. They wished they had more time. They wished things were different. They wished they could change their fate. Alice broke the silence and said, "Jake, I want to tell you something. I really like you. You're smart, kind, funny and brave. You've shown me things I never imagined. You've made me happy in this strange world. I don't know if we'll ever see each other again after I go back to my time, but I want you to know that you'll always have a special place in my heart." Jake smiled and said, "Alice, I feel the same way about you. You're beautiful, sweet, curious, and adventurous. You've opened my eyes to new possibilities. You've made me happy in this boring world. I don't know if we'll ever meet again after you leave, but I want you to know that you'll always be in my memories." They hugged each other tightly. They wished they could stop time and stay like this forever. But they knew they couldn't. They heard Jake's dad calling them from downstairs. He said he had fixed the time machine and was ready to send Alice back to her time. They got up from the bed and walked slowly to the door. They looked at each other one last time and said goodbye. They held hands as they went downstairs. They followed Jake's dad to his workshop where the time machine was waiting for them. Jake's dad explained how it worked and what Alice had to do. He gave her a device that would allow her to communicate with him once she arrived in her time. He told her to be careful and not to change anything in the past that could affect the future. He wished her good luck and thanked her for being a good friend to his son. He hugged her warmly and said he hoped she would be happy in her life. Alice thanked him for everything and said he was a great father and a brilliant inventor. She hugged him back and said she hoped he would be proud of his achievements. She turned to Jake and told him she loved him and that he was the best thing that ever happened to her. She asked him to never forget her and to always remember their adventure together. She let go of his hand and stepped into the time machine. She pressed a button. The door closed. The machine started humming. A bright light flashed. And then she was gone. The end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like button and subscribe, and kindly check the previous video.